Hello, children. I hope you all are safe at home. Welcome back to this third geometry lecture. Children, we know as we are solving our first lesson similarity. Now let's remember our Almighty God and continue this third lecture. Now, before starting, let us recall whatever we have learnt in the first and second video. See here, children, already we have learnt area of a triangle is equal to half into base into height. Then the second point we have learnt is if two triangles are having different base and different height, then ratio of their areas is equal to base 1 into height 1. Children, one child had a doubt in this. He wanted to know whether the reason has to be written in full or in short form. In this case, the reason has to be written this way as mentioned over here. That is, if two triangles are having different base and different height, then the ratio of the areas, that is I mentioned over here, area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to base 1 into height 1 upon base 2 into height 2. So in this case, you have to by heart this full reason and write. That is, ratios of areas of two triangles is equal to the ratio of the product of their bases and corresponding heights. Let's move on to the next slide. Children, I am very happy that you people are watching the video. But let me know whether you people are understanding or what. Now, the next part, that is, see, if two triangles are having equal heights, then we have already learned that is, that is area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to base 1 upon base 2. So here you can write the reason whatever I have given, that is triangles having equal heights. Okay. Now, the third one, if triangles are having equal bases, then ratio of their areas is equal to area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to height 1 upon height 2. So here you can write this reason which I mentioned over here. No need to write full sentence. Simply you can write triangles having equal bases. The fourth condition that we already discussed, that is if the triangles are having equal bases and equal heights, then the ratios will be area of triangle 1 upon area of triangle 2 is equal to 1 upon 1. As I already told you, by cross multiplication we get both the areas will be equal. That is, area of triangle 1 is equal to area of triangle 2. Now let's move to the next part, that is, we have already discussed about basic proportionality theorem. Children, I told you in basic proportionality theorem, two sides, that is in a triangle, one side will be parallel to another side of a triangle. That is, see, these two lines are parallel. Then we have to start the BPT theorem from here. That is, we can write BQ upon QC is equal to BP upon AP. Okay, that is what BPT theorem says. And the converse of that is, if these ratios are in proportion, then this line ST is parallel to line QR. Okay. Then also we have learnt about angle bisector theorem. Now here, this also I already explained, that is, if, see here they have given BD is the angle bisector. As soon as you see this BD is the angle bisector, then we can write, that as I told you, you will leave this point B and either start from C or you start from A. Okay, so here they have started from A, that is AB upon BC is equal to AD upon DC. Okay, the converse of this also, that is, if these ratios are equal, then we can say that BD is a bisector of angle ABC. Now coming to the fourth one, that is a property. I said if three lines are parallel, then the intercepts are in ratio. That is, what are the intercepts? That is, see, the intercepts are this AB, BC, XY and YZ. So here the ratios are AB upon BC is equal to XY upon YZ. Okay, this is what we have discussed in the first and second video. Now in exercise 1.2, two sums were left. So let us first discuss the two sums. Okay, that is question number 10 this is. Now see here children, a triangle is given. What all information they have given? Let us see that first. The information they have given is PQ is parallel to DE. You can see PQ is parallel to DE. So first I'll be taking this triangle. See the triangle I've drawn over here. When two lines are parallel, we know immediately we have to apply BPT theorem. So here I have applied BPT theorem and I've started from the alphabet X. So the ratio is XP upon PD is equal to XQ upon QE. So this is an activity based question children. So wherever empty boxes are given, we have to fill that. Okay. Now let's go down. That is next information what they have given. They have given QR is parallel to EF. See, QR is parallel to EF. So now we are going to take another triangle, that is, see, now we are going to take this triangle. Okay, so just a minute. So again we are going to apply basic proportionality theorem. See here I have drawn separately. So the triangle which I have drawn here is XEF. XEF. So in this triangle you can notice, see children, in this triangle QR is parallel to EF. So again we can apply basic proportionality theorem. That is, it starts from X. So XQ upon QE is equal to XR upon RF. Okay. Now see, first statement I have mentioned as number 1. This is number 2. Now look at these two conditions. See here, these two ratios are equal. Can you see children? XQ upon QE is equal to, see here, sorry, XQ upon QE is written in the first statement. Second statement also XQ upon QE is written. They both are equal. That means I can say that this ratio is equal to this. That is, I have got XP upon PD is equal to XR upon RF. So this is what children, we have got the ratios as equal. Yes, that is, ratios are equal. These ratios are answers of what? These are answers of basic proportionality theorem. That means we can apply converse. Converse means what? We have to go in a reverse way. That is, if the ratios are equal, then we can say that the lines are parallel. So here I have drawn the triangle separately. It's given that this upon this is equal to this upon this. That means we can say that this line is parallel to this. So final answer I have got that PR is parallel to DE. What is the reason? By converse of basic proportionality theorem. Children, write in full form. By mistake I have wrote shortcut. Okay. Now let's move on to the. So I hope you understood this. Now let's go to sum number 11. Now here read the information given. See, they have given in triangle ABC. In this triangle BD is the bisector, is the first information. So we have to apply angle bisector theorem. So we leave this alphabet B, either start from A or start from C. So here I have started from A and the ratio I got is AD upon DC is equal to AB upon BC. That is what I have written in the first statement. Now let's go to next statement what they have given, that is CE is the bisector of angle ACB. That means again we will leave the point C and let me start from A. That is AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CB. That is what I have got the second statement. Now another information is given in the question is segment AB is congruent to segment AC. So that I have written over here, that I made a statement number 3. Children, now compare second and third statement. See, instead of AC in the second statement, I can write as AB. So that is what I have written over here. Just come to the next part, that is C. That is what I have written. Just a minute, children. Now see, that is what I have written here from statement 2 and 3. In place of AC, I have substituted AB. Yeah, children, I said in statement number 3, AB is congruent to AC. Okay, now second and third statement I am comparing. So in place of AC, I am writing AB. So I have got the fourth statement as AE upon EB is equal to AB upon BC. Now see the first statement and the fourth statement. First statement, can you see here what is written? AD upon DC is equal to AB upon BC. And see the fourth statement. Fourth statement, see AE upon EB. The fourth statement is AE upon EB is equal to AB upon BC. See in the fourth statement this, and in this first statement, that is AB upon BC, they both are equal. See, they both are equal. That means I can say AE upon EB is equal to AD upon DC. So that is what I have written over here. AD upon DC is equal to AE upon EB. Now what does this come to the diagram? That is AE upon EB is equal to AD upon DC. What is this? This is converse of basic proportionality theorem. The information which we have got is converse of basic proportionality theorem. So by this we are saying that line ED is parallel to line BC. I hope you all have understood this. Now let's move on to, by this 1.2 exercise is over. The next exercise is based on similar triangle. As I told already in the first video, that is we'll be discussing about similar triangles later on. So now let's come to know the difference between similar triangle and congruent triangles. Children, congruent triangles we have already learned from the lower class. Similar triangles we have learned in standard 9. Let's revise first. Now see the similar triangle. Can you see here the diagrams? They look similar. In congruent triangles also the diagrams look similar, but in similar triangle one will be small in size, another one will be bigger in size. But in congruent triangle both of them will be same in size. So in geometrical language, if we have to speak, here all the three angles, that is angle A is congruent to P because their measures are, see the measures I have given over there, that is 50 degree. Then angle B is congruent to angle Q, their measures are 60 degree. Angle C is congruent to angle R, their measures are 70 degree. So in similar triangle, all the three angles, that is the corresponding angles, should be congruent. The next part in similar triangle is the sides are proportional. Proportional means just see AB upon PQ. So AB length they have given as 1, PQ they have given as 2. So the ratio is 1 upon 2. I have got statement number 1. Next, BC upon QR, that is 2 upon 4. Again I got as half. Then AC upon PR, again it is, the ratio is half. That means what I can say, all the three ratios are equal. That means the corresponding sides, the ratio of the corresponding sides are equal. So here what the conditions are, corresponding angles are congruent and corresponding sides are in proportion. But in congruent triangle, the difference is corresponding sides also should be congruent and the angles also should be congruent. Just see here, in congruent triangle you can see angle X is congruent to angle L, angle Y is congruent to angle M, then again angle Z is congruent to angle N. See at the sides also. Side also, see, you can see XY is congruent to LM. Sorry children, I forgot to write congruent symbol over here. XY is congruent to LM. YZ is congruent to MN. XZ is congruent to LN. That means in congruent triangles, corresponding angle should be congruent and the corresponding side should be congruent. So that is what I have written. Now let's first learn about the symbol. Symbol of congruence, that is, this is the symbol of congruence, and for the similar, that is, this is the symbol for similar. Again I repeat, that is this sign. I have already mentioned over here. Now children, there are certain tests which are applicable to prove that the triangles are similar or whether the triangles are congruent. So let us learn. Now for similar triangles there are three tests, that is SSS test, SAS test, AAA test or AA test. Though we have learnt in 9th standard, let me again explain this here. Then coming to congruence of triangle, already we have learnt SSS test, SAS test, SAA test and hypotenuse side test. Now see children, these two are same, then remaining they are different. Let me explain all this in detail. So let me go over here. See children, in SSS test, all the three sides are in proportion. Okay, as we have already discussed about proportion, here the corresponding sides are proportion, therefore they are similar by SSS test. Coming to congruence of triangle, all the corresponding angles, congruence of triangles, coming to congruence of triangle, the corresponding sides are congruent. You can see the symbol here. I have given 1 mark, here I have given 2 marks and here I have given 3 marks. Identical symbols are given. So the corresponding sides are congruent. So we can say that both the triangles are congruent by SSS test. Now going to the next part, that is SAS test. Now here SAS test, see here two sides are given and one angle in between. That means the two sides will be proportional and the angle included between the two sides should be congruent. So here angle L is congruent to angle S. Therefore we can say that they are similar by SAS test. Now coming to this side children, that is congruence of triangle. In SAS test, two sides are congruent and the angle between the two sides are also congruent. So you can see here AB is congruent to PQ, angle B is congruent to angle Q and angle side BC is congruent to side QR. So the triangles are congruent by SAS test. Now let's go to the next part, that is AAA test for similarity of triangle. Now, triple A means all the corresponding three angles will be congruent. You can see the symbol I have given over here. That is, angle A is congruent to angle P, angle B is congruent to angle Q, angle C is congruent to angle R. So, three angles are given, so we can say that both the triangles are similar by triple A test. Coming below, children, see, here two angles are given, that is, angle X is congruent to angle G, angle Y is congruent to angle H. Two angles are given. Then we can say that both the triangles are similar by double A test. Okay. Now let's go to the other part, that is congruence of triangle SAA test. In congruence of triangle there are 4 tests and similarity there are 3, because the last one either you can write AAA or AA will do. Now coming to the third one in congruence of triangle, that is SAA. That means one side is congruent and the consequent angles, that is immediately it should follow, the two angles are congruent, then we can say that both the triangles are congruent by SAA test. Okay, that is, this can also be written in a reverse way, that is AAS also. That means one side and the consequent angles should be congruent. Now coming to the next part, that is hypotenuse side test. Children, this is applicable only in a right angled triangle. Okay, and the first condition is hypotenuse should be congruent and any one side can be congruent. Okay, you can see here I have given the symbol hypotenuse is congruent, and you can include either AB should be congruent to PQ or BC should be congruent to RQ. Any one information has to be given. Then we can say that both the triangles are congruent by hypotenuse side test. Children, I hope you have understood whatever I explained today. In the next video, we will be doing exercise 1.3. There we have to apply all this test. I hope you have enjoyed my video. Kindly share your comments also so that I can improve myself and give the best to you. Thank you for watching, children. Thank you. Have a good day.